Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin pumping up over 3,300 on the day, back above 63,300. Make some noise for that. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing US Bitcoin miners hodl in expectation a Bitcoin price rises. We'll also be discussing BlackRock surpasses 10.6 trillion record, assets under management boosted by the ETF inflows, and also quoting Stacy Herbert, the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world, says Bitcoin is a legitimate financial instrument. Preach. And also Michael Dell knows what's up. He reshared Larry Fink's recent interview we'll be discussing. We'll also be discussing Ethereum topping 3.3 thousand as analysts tip ETF approvals this week. Any day now. Also, Price of Tomorrow author says Bitcoin is the only free market force, predicts prices will fall against BTC. We'll also be discussing Trump reportedly in good spirits and will still attend Nashville's Bitcoin conference, the biggest Bitcoin conference there is. And quoting Max Keiser, my understanding is that Trump, when he wins, is announcing a plan to do a Saylor for the US Treasury at the Bitcoin conference. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin soaring to $1 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Let's dive right in without further ado. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash those likes, subscribe, then hit the bell icon and make sure you turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod episode number 1701. I'm your host, JV. It's July 15th, 2024. A beautiful day in the markets as we have been on a tear. It's a beautiful thing. So let's dive right into our market watch as we do each and every day. You should be able to see Coin 360 on your screen here. Bitcoin pumping above 63.3. We're up over 5% on the day. Ethereum making a big move as well, about to tap $3,400, up 6.2% for the day. We also have rumors of the spot Ether ETF going live within the next few days, so more than likely going to continue to pump. So everything is pumping in the green, which we love to see. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we currently have 72 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. The current crypto market cap stands at $2.32 trillion. And we'll check out the Bitcoin market cap, 1.25 trillion. It's clearly on the climb big time here. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours. We got Floki, Jasmy, Pepe, and Mog. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for this bull? Holla at your freaking boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, and you can see on the daily, virtually every single thing crushing it right now, including the alts on a tear. And let's actually zoom out on the monthly, get a broader perspective, and probably about 80-20 in the red. Still many of the alts wrecked overall for the past 30 days. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, we're currently rated at 52, neutral. Yesterday at 33, last week at 28, and last month at 74 in greed. So there you have it, crypto fam. Not for the weed, I go Kit Kat, kitty cat, a kitty cat, not for stacking the sats, stack the sats, ain't no thing. Baby, it's a chance to stack those sats. Chance to stack them biddies. But anyways, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. This is going to be lit because we're pumping as we're doing our TA today, and we'll pull up some of the live charts. A lot of bullishness in the markets right now, fam. So yeah, Bitcoin is on a tear, about to reclaim 64,000. The price of Bitcoin reclaimed 62 this morning when I woke up. Actually, it was rough, closer to 63. And Bitcoin rallied over 5% in the past 24 hours, bouncing off 2-month lows of 53.5 on July 4th, and is currently changing hands at now close to 64 because we're on a tear. I mean, look at them green candles on the charts here. It's pretty lit. So yeah, Ben Simpson, founder of crypto education platform Collective Shift, shared that he believes Bitcoin's local bottom has now been formed, which would have been 63.5. I'm sorry, 53.5, which we tapped a few days ago. Simpson said the price of Bitcoin has been hammered by a deluge of forced selling, much of which stem from nearly $3 billion in sales from the German government and negative sentiment towards some $8.5 billion in Mt. Gox creditor repayments. July 12th, when Bitcoin wavered around 59,000, the crypto greed and fear index fell to its lowest level in 18 months in extreme fear. Something Simpson said was that the odds with a more fundamental-based approach to the broader market environment. Quoting him here, generally, I just felt there was a very big mismatch between sentiment and fundamentals moving forward. Simpson looked to several several key catalysts as being bullish for the Bitcoin price in the coming weeks and months. Quoting him here, Jerome Powell is hinting towards potentially lowering rates at some point soon. We've also got the S&P 500 ripping to new highs amongst all of this, as well as strong Bitcoin ETF inflows flowing back in. And just over 360 million in leveraged short positions on Bitcoin were liquidated as it broke through the 62 level. And that was the line in the sand in which we covered in yesterday's pod. And lo and behold, moon time, family. Now, eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert shared that the worst of Bitcoin's price may be in the rearview mirror, citing U.S. presidential candidate Trump's increased odds of clinching victory in the upcoming election as a key driver of the positive price action in the coming months. They tried to take out Trump, but guess what happened? Now the Bitcoin pump it up. We have seen weakness in the last few months, but I think as the worst is likely behind us, any short-term weakness is likely to be bought with this in mind, alongside the tailwind of an ETH ETF and, of course, a more crypto U.S. party potentially being elected, yo. Can we trump it up?
Pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up.
Exactly. He also said the attack on former President Trump this week positively impacted his re-election odds, and I agree, with the former president's pro-crypto stance lifting Bitcoin and crypto assets in the process. Now, Gustavo, director of Australian crypto exchange Cointree, shared that the narrative around the Mt. Gox creditors dumping their biddies on the market had already been processed and priced in as of last week. Bahahaha. Take that, bears. Quoting him here. Inflation came out lower than expected, and expectations that the Fed will start cutting rates got a boost. The market is now expecting first rate cuts as soon as September. He also warned many potential upward swings in the price of Bitcoin could likely not occur overnight. Quoting him again. I also think there's going to be a lot of push for the price to go much higher in the short run. I think we will see Bitcoin move around 55 to 65,000 at least until the Fed actually cuts the rates. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And now I actually want to check out some of the live charts because the live charts are pretty freaking lit as we continue to pump. 63.5. Let's go. Here's the 1 hour chart you're looking at live and in the flesh, brought to you by TradingView via Coinbase. And if you guys can repost this stream on X, it's appreciated. I intended to stream on X today, but had technical difficulties. So today we're only streaming live on YouTube and Rumble, just FYI. But anyways, yeah, as you can see in the chart here, we're currently sitting at 63.5, and this is the 1 hour chart looking mega bullish. And let's even zoom out from here to the 4 hour, and we'll go work our way backwards. Again, live and in the flesh, big, massive green candles on the 4 hour chart. As you can see, there's bullish momentum continuing. I think we're likely to tap 64,000 potentially before the end of the live stream. Let's see if we can tap 65. You never know, family. As Forrest Gump once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And checking out the 1 day chart right here. We're ripping like Scottie Pippen. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many stocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Little Kendrick quote. But yeah, Bitcoin's ripping on the 1 day chart like Kendrick Lamar stocks right now. We're about to get a fifth green candle. Let's freaking go. And zooming out even further on the 1 week. Bada boom, bada bing. We do have some bullish targets as well as a bullish flag on the 1 week chart. And we do have a massive target, a cup and handle sitting at 126 G's, baby. If you'd like to see $126,000 Bitcoin, holla at your boy. And let's do one more. We'll look at the 1 month, see what it's looking like right now. Whoa. So yeah, I mean, we had 7 green consecutive candles followed by a little red, little green, little red. And let's see how we perform for the rest of July, as there's only 2 weeks left in the month. So yeah, let's discuss the latest with the Bitcoin miners. Headline here reads, U.S. Bitcoin miners huddle expectation of the Bitcoin price rising. That's right. Marathon Digital Holdings did not sell any of their biddies in June. The decision marks a growing trend amongst U.S.-based Bitcoin miners who are choosing to keep the Bitcoin they mine rather than sell it. So Marathon's chief financial officer said to better understand how the miners decide when to accumulate their Bitcoin and when to move them onto the market, quoting him here, is a very systematic process that we go through from an internal process standpoint. There are market dynamics that you have to consider in the short term. The Bitcoin price could fluctuate and your decision could be impacted as a result of that. And he explained why Bitcoin is different from other asset classes when it comes to these considerations, quoting him here, if we were an oil company producing oil, we would sell our oil from whatever we produce because that would be our primary source of revenue and cash flows. In this space, it's a little different. Bitcoin is a digital asset and it can stay on your balance sheet and doesn't require any cost to store. You don't need big barrels to store Bitcoin. Marathon holds 18,536 Bitcoin worth over $1 billion, up 48% from 2023's total of 12,538. Quoting them again, last year, the rate of return of this asset class was 150% over the last few years. When you look at the average rate of returns, it's been outclassing or outperforming other assets that are typically available for corporations to invest in. Preach. He also says, we obviously are a big believer in the Bitcoin price going up further from here. It's going up forever, Melda. We don't need to sell Bitcoin every month. Now, Marathon is not the only U.S. Bitcoin miner accumulating the Biddy right now. Riot Platforms has not sold Bitcoin since January, while CleanSpark has only sold nominal amounts. And given that these firms mine hundreds of Bitcoin every month, the clear trend among the big U.S. mining firms is accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. Now, CleanSpark CEO shared that the strategy is born out of pragmatism. Quoting him here, we are not ideological about hodling Bitcoin, but rather we view it as a strategically important in the current environment. He said, we expect the price of Bitcoin to continue to be volatile, but as this cycle progresses and over the long-term basis, we do expect it to increase in value. We monitor the market in real time, which drives our decisions. And according to Bradford, market indicators a year ago prompted the company to begin accumulating, as he shares here. Last June, we felt the market was starting to gain momentum and began hodling most of what we mined. Since that time, we have grown our treasury to over 6,500 BTC. Now, besides hodling, U.S. miners also engaged in a mining arms race, rapidly upping capacity. As shared, ClearSpark is expected to achieve and surpass 50 exahashes per second in 2025 as we continue to execute our aggressive growth strategy. Marathon currently mines at a hash rate of 31.5 exahashes per second. In his most recent mining update, said the company is on track to reach 50 exahashes per second by the year's end. And while mining is one of the miners can accumulate Bitcoin, Marathon is not adverse to accumulating Bitcoin in other ways by any means necessary. Instance, in January, the company purchased 183 Bitcoin. They explain why the miners may choose to purchase Bitcoin as well as mine it, quoting them here. I joined the company in June of last year, and when you look at the Bitcoin price at the point in time versus today, wish I could have invested a lot more money from my personal investment standpoint if I could go back in time. Where's the DeLorean at? Marty McFly, where are you at? Khan also points to institutional investors entering this space, quoting them here. There's BlackRock, there's Fidelity, there's a lot of the big names out who are coming to the space, investing heavily. If you do the math, obviously, that shows that the price is likely to go up. 100%, I think we're likely to continue to climb. What are your thoughts with that, family? Miners, in my opinion, are the smart money, hence why they're positioned to continue accumulating. And especially at a time like this, post-halving, where we're typically going to be shooting up parabolic as far as price action is concerned over the course of the next 18 months, roughly. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, next story of the day. Here's the latest with BlackRock, world's largest asset manager. BlackRock surpasses 10.6 trillion record assets under management, boosted by the ETF inflows. Not only that, now Larry Fink was just on CNBC here this morning. Breaking, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, I was wrong. Bitcoin is a legitimate financial instrument. Wow, go figure. So Stacey Herbert, quoting her, the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world says Bitcoin is a legitimate financial instrument. Indeed, Larry. And El Salvador has the first mover advantage, building the new capital markets on this financial instrument. Get ready for Bitcoin banks and more. Bring it. Now, even Michael Dell, the billionaire investor considered the 14th wealthiest person on the planet, said fascinating #Bitcoin, sharing the Larry Fink interview with Jim Cramer of Mad Money. Very fascinating. Do you think Michael Dell already has his stash of the Biddy? Do you think that could potentially be Mr. 100? Let me know your thoughts on that. And we're going to continue talking about the inflows here. So yeah, BlackRock has reached a record of 10.6 trillion worth of assets under management, securing 1.2 trillion year-over-year growth. They're the largest asset manager in the world, surpassing 10 trillion was partly attributed to the growing inflows into the ETFs. According to Larry Fink, CEO in BlackRock, the firm's ETFs received record inflows at the beginning of the year. Fink wrote the following for their quarterly earnings report. Organic growth was driven by private markets, retail, active, fixed income, and surging flows into our ETFs, which had their best start of the year on record. BlackRock is the issuer of, obviously, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, which holds $19.4 billion worth of Bitcoin and has a leading 35% market share amongst all U.S. Bitcoin ETFs, according to Dune Analytics, due to their substantial purchasing power, they say. The buying and selling behaviors of asset management giants and ETF issuers, such as BlackRock, can significantly influence the Bitcoin's price. Investors bought $83 billion worth of BlackRock ETF shares during the second quarter of the year, pushing this year's total to over $150 billion year to date. The asset manager recorded an 8% revenue increase year over year and an 11% increase in operating income. Fink attributes part of the BlackRock growth to its long-standing relationship with corporates and governments. Quoting him here, these relationships differentiate BlackRock as a capital partner in private markets, driving unique deal flow for clients. We have strong sourcing capabilities, and we're transforming our private market platform to bring even more benefits of scale and technology to our clients. Meanwhile, the spot Bitcoin ETF inflows have turned positive after 3 consecutive weeks of outflows, helping the Bitcoin price recover, now close to 64 G's, baby. The U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF recorded their second consecutive week of net positive inflows, totaling $414 million, according to Dune. BlackRock saw the largest inflow amongst the ETF issuers on July 12th, amassing $120 million worth of investments, according to Farside investment data. And last week, Bitcoin experienced its 5th largest weekly inflow on record, amounting to $1.35 billion, while short Bitcoin-related investment products experienced their largest weekly outflow since April 2024, totaling $8.6 million. So there you go. Crypto bros, even Michael Dell knows what's up. So you already know. Let's discuss the Ethereum ETF, which is supposed to get the green light here any day. And this is probably why Ether is pumping so much right now. The price of Ether topped 3,300 amid anticipation that spot ETFs for Ether could launch as soon as the end of the week. Bring it. Ether is currently trading close to 3,400. We may have even already broke it, according to TradingView. Nate Gerasi, ETF analyst and president of the ETF store, took to X with his forecast that the roster of the 8 spot Bitcoin or Ether ETFs would be launched by the end of the week. Quoting him here, "Welcome to the spot Ether ETF approval week. Don't know anything specific, just came up with it." At least he's honest. Now, in line with Gerasi, an anonymous source close to the proceedings shared on July 12th that the spot Ether funds were expected to launch by the end of this week. Several issuers, including Van Eck, 21 shares, filed amended registrations last week in hopes of receiving the SEC's final sign-off to begin listing spot Ether ETFs. Many analysts tip the launch of the ETFs as a major catalyst for the price of Ether in the coming months. We have Tom Dulevy, managing partner at crypto investment firm MV Global, shared he expects the funds to attract up to $10 billion in new inflows in the months following their launch, something that will see Ether prices surge to new all-time highs by the end of the year. How high do you think Ether price will climb, family? Let me know. He said, contrary to popular opinion amongst other ETF analysts, that Ether ETFs would be an easier sell to Wall Street compared to the Bitcoin ETFs. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Quoting him here, "We believe there will be strong buy pressure with a much more clear narrative that traditional investors can understand. ETH has cash flows. It can be described as a tech stock, the app store of the crypto, or an internet bond," he shared. "This is a much easier sell for the financial advisor than digital gold." He added that ETH price action, which has lagged relative to the Bitcoin for the last 18 months, would rebound quickly following the launch of the funds. So there you go. Yo, let me know if you feel we'll get that green light sometime this week. Are you bullish on that? And what do you think that will take the Ethereum and greater crypto market as a result? I think overall it's bullish, but let me know your thoughts. But anyways, right into our next story. Let's get right into it, eh? So here you can see price of tomorrow. Author says Bitcoin is the only free market force, predicts the Bitcoin price will fall against, other prices will fall against Bitcoin, for example, the dollar, etc. We're talking about Jeff Booth. He says why deflation is the key to an abundant future. He believes Bitcoin is the only force that follows the natural state of the free market. He was just interviewed by Natalie Brunell. Shout out to her pod, Coin Stories. Booth says we should live in a deflationary world where technology strengthens a currency's purchasing power by driving down the value of goods and services. And according to Booth, Bitcoin is the game changer, as it is the only currency in existence that can bring forth a system underpinned by abundance. Quoting him here, "I see Bitcoin very differently than most people do. The natural state of the free market is deflation, and technology would make the deflation happen at a way faster rate, at an exponential rate. And that deflation shouldn't be feared because What it actually is productivity flowing to us that we can live abundant lives and do what we want. Anything that stops that is not an economic system. It is not a political system. It's a control system that gains its strength from stealing from you. Once you understand that that is true, then as a derivative, everything else from the existing system is stealing from you. Very powerful words. Booth predicts that all fiat currencies will fall against the biddy forever. Melda, as it is the only currency designed to eradicate inflation, as he shares here. So Bitcoin stands as the only thing I have found that can protect you from that. It is not a coin. It's a protocol bounded by energy. It's an open, decentralized, secure protocol bounded by energy. It doesn't care if you want to price it through currency or pieces of paper that are being manipulated. It doesn't care. It's just going to keep on moving forward. So relative to the biddy, all prices are falling and will forever, because it is the only free market force that is in existence, and everything tethered to the other system is not. It's a control system. Very powerful words. I highly encourage you to check out this episode of Coin Stories with Natalie Brunell and Jeff Booth. And let me know your thoughts with some of his insights and predictions, family. Let's dive into our feature story of the day. Trump reportedly in good spirits and will be attending Nashville Bitcoin conference. There's going to be 20,000 plus people in attendance. And clearly, this is a pretty big deal. And the failed assassination attempt did not stop Trump whatsoever. Now, I want to read you some tweets I find very interesting. Max Keiser tweeted this morning at 8:10 a.m., got 11,000 views. My understanding is that Trump, when he wins, is announcing a plan to do a Saylor for the US Treasury at the Bitcoin conference. Whoa, that'd be pretty lit, yo. We all know Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, the first publicly traded company to put the Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Max says he actually coined the term global hash war and has been prophesizing about it for years and the game theory. And lo and behold, that's precisely what we're witnessing. It was 10 days before Trump's assassination attempt that he talked about adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset for the United States and bringing Bitcoin mining in the States to dominate, right? Which would be an example of the global hash war playing out in real time. So kudos to Max Keiser. Now, here's a pretty epic interview. If you missed it, you got to check this out. And if you're not following the HODL House, what are you doing with your life? Make sure to follow, I said FODL, like HODL. Make sure to follow HODL House Studio over on X. So here's a video, and quoting Max verbatim, word for word. Once you get into Bitcoin pretty quickly, you start to realize it is unconfiscatable. It's inflation proof. It is mine. No one else can take it from me, and the purchasing power is going up forever. And he's continuing on there, and I quoted him with something I found powerful. Michael Saylor works for me. Larry Fink works for me. Those are my employees. When you turn on CNBC and Larry Fink's there talking about how great Bitcoin is. 2 years ago, he thought it was shit. Now he's like, oh, I believe it. You're like, thank you, Larry. I'm up another 10%. Thanks to you, Larry. You're doing a good job, Larry. Now go get your shine box, Larry. Great Goodfellas reference right there, and one of my favorite interviews of all time. If you haven't checked out this interview, be sure to check it out. I reposted it and all that good stuff where he got 19,000 views, but kudos to Max. He's the man. True OG. He also wrote, and this was actually, I think, a couple of days ago. This was the 14th, yesterday. Max tweeted, as soon as Trump started to think seriously and started to understand Bitcoin, the divine presence and shield of Satoshi began protecting him from evil fiat money, bullets, and shit coins. Bitcoin saved Donald Trump and perhaps America too. Bitcoin is God. A very powerful quote, because if you watch the video footage of the assassination attempt, Trump had divine intervention. Split-second reaction, turns his head and avoids a bullet going through his brain and instead nicks his ear. So when Max says this, I feel exactly what he is saying. Trump wasn't destined to leave us, right? Maybe Satoshi began protecting him from the evil fiat money, bullets, and shit coins. What are your thoughts on that, family? Now, this is a throwback tweet I reposted today. I think this was back from 2023 in February on my birthday. So it was actually a special day for me. And anyways, the global hash wars are heating up, says Max. Countries won't ban Bitcoin. They'll mine Bitcoin. El Salvador was the first country to realize the strategic importance of having Bitcoin on the state's balance sheet. And already El Salvador is realizing huge gains as a result. Now, what other nation states are likely to follow? Will it be the United States of America with a Trump victory? Let me know your thoughts, family. Now, also, quoting Max again, Iran has already got 3% of the global hash rate. So I think Venezuela will get 3 to 5% pretty quickly. And then at some point, America will say, we've got to enter the 21st century space race of mining Bitcoin, and then they'll try to seek 20% of the hash rate, and then security goes up dramatically, and the price of Bitcoin goes to 400,000, 500,000 per coin. And it's ironic because this is a prediction he shared a while back. I actually shared this story June 12th, so more than a month ago. And lo and behold, like I said, less than 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump came out, and he didn't say that word for word, but he ultimately said he wants to bring mining back in America and do big things, and that's ultimately exactly what Max predicted. So kudos to the high priest, the one and only. One more quote from Max. You are not protected against government seizure, and the U.S. government plans to seize all the Bitcoin ETF in the interests of national security. Number one, government seizes the ETF for national security. Number two, before they send you your USD. Number three, price moves up $100,000. Number four, you pay tax on the gain from the payout, and with what's left, you buy Bitcoin at a price $100,000 higher. Number five, price crashes. And number six, you're now sitting on a net losing position from where you started. So there you go. Yo, now back to diving a little deeper into the Trump story regarding the event. Former President Trump still plans to speak at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, Tennessee, despite having survived that assassination attempt July 13th in Pennsylvania. How many of you are going to be at that event, family? Let me know in the chat. And according to David Bailey, one of the event's organizers and CEO of the Bitcoin Mag, Bailey posted on X July 14th, stating he'd just spoken with the president's team, referring to Trump, and that the former president was in good spirits. He added that Trump was excited to see you all in Nashville and deliver a speech that is heard around the world. The former president committed to speaking at the conference earlier in the week prior to the assassination attempt. The event runs from the 25th to the 27th, with Trump slated to speak on the 27th. And I know Max and Stacy will be on that same stage before Trump. I know RFK Jr. is going to be there. I know Bill Miller is going to be there. I know Mikey Saylor is going to be there. It's going to be a pretty lit conference. So let me know, family, and what are your thoughts? Do you think Trump will realistically adopt Bitcoin for America and go that route as the global hash war continues if he wins the presidency? Holla at your boy. And I'll read these comments out loud. Welcome to the Q&A segment of the live show.